Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as we prepare for the Inspired Home Show 2026, which is quickly approaching. I'm Adrienne Tiratilli. I'm the Senior Vice President of the trade show here at IHA, and I'm excited to get today's webinar started. Today's session is designed to make your planning process clear, efficient, stress-free, and that's whether you're a first-time exhibitor with us for the first time or you are a seasoned Inspired Home Show professional exhibitor. Our partners at Freeman are going to work with us today to walk through some of their essential show services, covering areas surrounding booth rental options, material handling, scheduling your labor, shipping logistics, as well as the new show patterns, move-in and move-out process. We'll also be reviewing some ordering procedures, some key deadlines, and practical tips to ensure a smooth show experience. A few housekeeping notes before we dive in. I just wanted to point out that any questions that you may have, please be sure to use the key Q&A feature in today's webinar. The chat feature is turned off, and we want to make sure we address as many questions as possible during the Q&A session. We are recording the session today, and we will also be sending the session to you along with the PowerPoint presentation, so there's no need to take notes. With that, I'm pleased to turn things over to Freeman. Freeman, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Adrienne. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon. I'm Cassandra Cothran. I am the Exhibitor Education Manager here at Freeman, and we are so thrilled to welcome you to our show services overview. Today, we'll cover everything you need to know from exhibiting and making sure that your experience is smooth and successful. Most importantly, we just want to make sure that it's stress-free. So we're going to dive in. Our partnership with IHA is all about making sure that you're set up for success. We're here to make sure that you have the support, resources, and guidance you need every step of the way. I'm going to hand it over to Mike McCool, Client Relationship VP, to talk a little bit about what this partnership really means for you.
Thanks, Cassandra. My name is Mike McCool. I am with Freeman based here in Chicago, and our goal is to set each of you up for success at the upcoming Inspired Home Show. Our success is directly tied to your success, and we want to accomplish this by providing you with transparency and predictability because we know you've told us you don't like surprises or gotchas. We want you to achieve more sales with less expense. So let's start with the new show pattern and how to maximize the opportunities that it offers you. Cassandra?
Perfect. Thank you, Mike. All right. So, big news for the first time ever, the Inspired Home Show will run midweek. So this will be Tuesday through Thursday, March 10th through 12th, 2026. This change reflects your feedback, as Mike was just mentioning, and is designed to work better for both exhibitors and attendees. The move-in schedule is adjusted to reduce weekend labor and so that you can plan accordingly to avoid overtime charges. We want to really remind you right now that labor is billed at different hourly rates depending on when the work occurs. So for straight time, this applies during standard weekday hours, while overtime or double time rates apply for work done after hours, on the weekends, or holidays. You'll just want to really be sure that you plan labor during straight time hours so that you can significantly reduce your costs. This will really help with budgeting and making sure that you're saving the most amount of money as possible. If you're working with an exhibitor-appointed contractor or an EAC, choose a reputable contractor who knows the ins and outs of union rules, show policies, and Freeman labor rules. Remember to share your booth layout and your freight target, electrical plans, and everything else with your EAC so that they're prepared too and can plan for your needs accurately. Remember to also submit required EAC paperwork. You'll want to be sure that your EAC is registered and they provide a certificate of insurance to show management to make sure that they can actually be on the show floor. Only approved and insured EACs will be allowed access to the show floor. And then lastly, remember to coordinate on site for a smooth setup. Your EAC will receive communication prior to move in on how to pick up their labor wristbands. Remember to also confirm that your freight is in your booth before your EAC begins labor, again, to avoid idle time or any overtime costs. Lastly, stay connected with your EAC via phone or text to monitor the progress and to make sure that your move-in process is going smoothly. And budgeting doesn't have to be complicated. Simplify your exhibiting experience by using this comprehensive guide to explore booth sizes, rates, and membership options. You'll also get tips on labor, shipping, and more. This guide will be sent to you via email, and it'll be available in the IHS Exhibitor Service Kit. To best support you, Freeman will be on site to assist with any questions or concerns or compliments that you may have. Remember to look for a Contact Us flyer within your booth space during move-in. This flyer will have our contact information on it so that you can reach us, but we'll also have a service desk available for you to come over to us and chat with us if you have any questions. We do understand that sometimes things don't go as planned, or you just may have general questions about your orders, invoices, or anything in between. We strongly encourage you and ask that you attempt to resolve any of these issues before the show closes to ensure that your experience is smooth and that we can provide timely resolutions. We're here to make sure that your show runs seamlessly. So if you have any issues, just let us know so that we can try to fix them there on the spot. Makes it a lot more difficult after the show if we're trying to resolve any issues that you may have, and that doesn't assist with making sure that your show experience is the best that it can be. We want to also provide you with our contact information. If you need help at any point, we're here to support you. You can contact us by phone, text, email, chat, or WhatsApp. And we're available at many different times, so feel free to reach out to us with any questions, and we'll be happy to support you. All right. Now I'm going to hand it over to Jenny Wilford, Director of Customer Success, to walk you through pre-planning and getting started with Freeman. Jenny, you are muted.
The first time. Just kidding. Hey, everybody. I'm Jenny Wilford, Director of Customer Success here at Freeman, and I'm excited to be here with you today to help you get started with all things Freeman. Okay, whether you are a first-time exhibitor or a seasoned participant, we recommend that you start planning for your event approximately 45 days before the first day of move-in. In this case, that would be no later than Friday, January 15th. But with the holidays quickly approaching, be on the lookout for FreemanOnline to go live very soon and maybe even get a head start. Start taking note of deadline dates, not only for Freeman services, but also for other vendors, hotel reservations, or any possible sponsorship opportunities. And as an official contractor for this show, Freeman sends out a series of emails. These emails are sent to the contact that we have on file. And the first email is sent about 14 weeks before the show opens, and it includes a link to FreemanOnline to help you get started. It welcomes you and shares important event information and educational materials. So you should be seeing this email in the next couple of weeks. The second email comes out about a week before the discount deadline, and the purpose of this email is to alert you that the discount deadline is approaching and remind you to go ahead and place those orders to receive the best possible price. And the third and final email is sent 1 week before the show opens, and this email prepares you for the on-site experience by sharing last-minute reminders, on-site contact details, and helpful exhibiting tips. And if you are not the contact that we have on file, that is okay, because you can still access FreemanOnline in several different ways. And one of those is from the Inspired Home Shows homepage. From there, you will click on Exhibit, and then drop down to Services Kit, and you will be directed to FreemanOnline once live. This will link you to your show's homepage within FreemanOnline. And here you will find all of the information you may need to know to partner with Freeman for a successful event. You can find the show schedule, contacts. You'll also see what is included in your booth space and many different tiles that have been curated for you and for this event. There are tiles including shop products and services, shipping and material handling information, and exhibitor education. You can also find a tile in which you can order the same items from a previous show. And there's also first-time exhibitor resources available. We do have a virtual assistant named Sky, and Sky can assist you with almost any question you may have. And if for any reason Sky cannot assist you, you will automatically be redirected to a live representative who can. Regardless of how you access FreemanOnline, we encourage you to take some time exploring all the supporting resources that we've prepared for you to keep you on track for the Inspired Home Show. While browsing through FreemanOnline, you will see a lot of informational pages similar to the one you see on the screen here. And if you would like to save this information to review later, share with your colleagues, you'll simply click the print button in the top right-hand corner of the page. This will allow you to save the file, view it later, share it with others who may need it, such as your colleagues or even your carrier. And before we dive into working with Freeman, I do want to take a minute to discuss some important booth details with you. First, let's start with the booth structure. IHA requires that all inline and peninsula exhibitors provide a finished back wall or an acceptable backdrop of 8 feet in height, and that must extend the entire length of the booth space. Sidewalls are allowed, but they are not required, and they may go to the height and length set for your booth configuration. To assist attendees in identifying booths, IHA requires exhibitors to display their company name and booth number on signage incorporated within the booth structure. I would like to note that no portion of an exhibit structure or floor covering may extend beyond the assigned floor space. Sales managers must receive all plans for new or renovated structures by January 20th, and be sure to include all measurements in feet and inches. And now, moving over to utility services. If you require utility services, the port must be within your assigned booth space for safety reasons. Utility services will not be accessed from the aisle. For inline or peninsula booths, utility services will be supplied at the back of the booth whenever possible. And finally, all EACs will be required to maintain their equipment inside their client's booth space. The exhibit area is not carpeted, and you are required to provide floor covering within your booth. Depending on the location of your booth, the aisles will be carpeted in black, gray, or tuxedo. And tuxedo is a blend of black and white carpet. So cook and bakeware aisles will be gray. Sorry, Cassandra. The cook and bakeware aisles will be gray. Tabletop, kitchen, essential, and accents will be tuxedo. If you're in the travel gear and luggage area, aisles will be black. Cleaning, home organization, and bath accessories will have gray carpet in the aisles. The international pavilion will have gray aisles. And finally, electrics and home healthcare will have tuxedo aisle carpet. Okay, Freeman offers exhibit rental solutions, which are custom rental spaces that are specifically created to outfit your booth space. You can work with our experienced design team to get the look and feel that truly embodies your brand. Partnering with Freeman on your rental exhibit allows you to enjoy a hassle-free experience because all you have to do is arrive at the event and your booth will be completely set. This will allow you to focus on making meaningful connections at the show and not have to worry about setting up because it's all done for you. So let's take a look. Here are a few examples of our booth designs, that teams have created in the past. One thing I would like to call out is that while we often focus on the event discount deadline, it's crucial to understand that configured rentals and exhibit collection products follow a separate production timeline. These deadlines are often earlier and must be factored into planning to avoid last-minute limitations or missed opportunities. And we'll quickly go through the next few slides so you can get an idea of the different offerings and pricing. On this slide, you'll see 10 by 10 booth packages. We have back wall structures with large fabric graphics, arm lights to highlight those graphics, and you have your choice of classic carpet. The services included in all of the examples on this slide and the ones you're about to see include the structure rental, installation and dismantle, graphic printing, graphic installation, electrical services for those lights that come with the structure, the first night of vacuuming, and material handling. You show up, your booth is set with no additional fees. Here, you'll see some 10 by 20 rental examples as well as pricing, 10 by 30 examples, some 15-foot examples, and finally, a few 20 by 20 options here. Online packages and exhibit collection offerings allow for minimal modifications, but if you're looking for something more customized, configured rentals are the way to go. They offer great flexibility and can be tailored to meet specific branding or layout needs without compromising delivery timelines. The Exhibit Solutions team provides extensive collateral and guidance to make your booth build-out seamless and stress-free. If you don't see what you're looking for in the catalog, set up a consultation today to explore even more options tailored to your goals. You can email us at solutions@freeman.com, or you can scan the QR code here or refer back to this information when this presentation is available on the portal. And now we will move into other products and services that Freeman offers. Freeman is the official show service contractor for the Inspired Home Show, and we offer all of the products and services that you see here on the screen. We'll go over how we can help with these products in the next few slides. But before we get into Freeman's products and services, I did want to call out some other specialty contractors that you can see here on the screen. You can find anything from floral services to catering, photography, security, and much more. I would also like to note that Phoenix International is IHA's official customs broker, and they can assist you pre, during, and post-show. If your company uses a vendor other than those indicated on the show vendor contact list, they must be registered by February 6th. All right, I want to remind you that we do have a discount deadline, which is Friday, February 6th. We encourage you to order all Freeman products and services by this date to save the most money. And I also want to reiterate that other vendors may have different discount deadlines, so be sure to check in with them to confirm the deadlines and place orders before those deadlines to make sure you get the best return on your investment. All right, now we'll move into the products and services that Freeman offers, starting with flooring. Remember that the exhibit area is not carpeted, and you are required to provide floor covering for your booth space. Freeman offers many options for flooring, from carpet to turf and even vinyl, in many different colors to complement your booth structure. As a reminder, depending on what area you are in, the aisles will be carpeted in either black, gray, or tuxedo. We also have a very extensive catalog for rental furnishings. Whether you need to create a private conference room, a lounge area, or even open seating for an in-booth presentation, our catalog has choices that will best fit the style of your booth design. Exhibitors can order drape through Freeman, but approval is managed by IHA. This ensures compliance with show design, standards, and booth regulations. The standard height is 8 feet for back walls and 3 feet for side dividers. Each drape panel is 4 feet wide, and we use 4 panels per 10-foot section. Drape is offered in black, gray, white, blue, and red, and it includes pipe. Posts, bases, and top rods are available to order. Once you have approval from IHA, you can place an order by contacting Freeman customer support in advance, or you can order on site. Freeman is also the full service signage and has a full service signage and graphics shop. We have state-of-the-art design and printing capabilities, and we can help bring your design, your booth graphics to life. Now we're going to move into labor services. There are things that you can do within your own booth space to get your booth set up, and there are ways that Freeman can assist you. So let's jump in. Labor jurisdictions are unique to each city, and they allow us to know what you can or cannot do within your own booth space within that city. In Chicago, full-time employees of exhibiting companies can set up or tear down their own booth materials, including the assembling and disassembling of materials, machinery, or equipment. You may also open boxes, stock shelves, distribute and set product and literature. You can unload your own vehicle at designated McCormick Place ASUV unloading and loading areas, as long as it is not a commercially registered vehicle. You can use your own dollies, luggage carriers, non-hydraulic carts, 2 to 4 wheel hand trucks, ladders up to 6 feet, and hand-powered tools subject to building safety guidelines. And lastly, you may deliver and set up your own computers, monitors, and AV equipment. I do want to call out that I've mentioned full-time employees on this slide a couple of times. Full-time employees of exhibiting or full-time employees are defined as those on the company payroll for at least 6 months. Temporary staff and freelancers are not considered full-time employees and therefore not able to perform the tasks we just reviewed. Work beyond what full-time employees or approved EACs can complete can be done by union personnel. If you want or need assistance for setting up or dismantling your booth, Freeman can assist you with display labor services. Display labor rates are per person per hour, and the start time can only be guaranteed when labor is requested at the start of the working day. That means if you scheduled your labor for any other time, you will need to check in with the Exhibitor services to let them know that you are ready for your labor. Freeman is available to supervise labor if you or your team are unable to be on site. If you have designated Freeman to supervise your labor, we will ensure that it is completed before the show open for installation and before the hall must be cleared for dismantle labor. We are also the official contractor for hanging signs and overhead rigging. If you have hanging signs or truss that's being hung from the ceiling, you must submit all requests to IHA by December 15th. This applies to all companies, even if you were approved in prior years. Be sure to check the exhibit hall rules and guidelines for overhead rigging. When placing your order, know that the rates are per crew per hour. There is a 1 hour minimum, and you will be charged in half-hour increments after that first hour. And again, the start time is only guaranteed at the start of the working day. To ensure that your sign or overhead rigging item is safe for us to put up, we do require a signed structural integrity form. This lets us know that you agree that your items are safe to be hung overhead. Be sure to include setup instructions when placing your order and inside the container that your hanging sign is delivered in. We also encourage you to ship any hanging sign or overhead rigging items to the advanced warehouse using hanging sign shipping labels that can be found on FreemanOnline. If you ship your hanging sign to the advanced warehouse using these labels, this allows us to easily identify hanging signs and get that up before your arrival at show site. Now let's talk about audio-visual services. Freeman has many different audio-visual services to help you bring your booth space to life. Internet and electrical services are not included in the equipment pricing. The pricing is for the duration of the event, and it does include product delivery. Once you're ready for your products, for your audiovisual products, notify Freeman and we will get those delivered to you. Now on to electrical and utilities. Freeman does handle electrical services and utilities. And again, remember to order in advance for the best price and to ensure that these services are installed prior to your arrival. I do want to quickly note that Freeman pre-strings outlets to save time. So if you're an inline booth, you may see this. If you do not order electrical services and you use the outlet, you will be charged an on-site price following an audit at show site. We encourage you to order these services in advance to take advantage of that discount pricing. Also, remember to provide complete information, including your floor plan, booth orientation, and the location of the main power drop, as well as on-site contacts. Power will be available from 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you require power outside of these hours, you are able to order extended power for 24-hour use. We do have helpful usage guides online and other resources if you need help determining how much power you may need. And next, we'd like to call out the differences between floor work and booth work. Floor work is electrical or utility work that must be completed before flooring is installed. So think of it as any work that is required under your flooring. Booth work is work completed after flooring is installed. So this work would be completed on top of the flooring. Labor is required for any electrical work over and beyond the delivery of outlets to the back wall of inline booths. Floor work includes placing wiring, conduit, or other outlets under flooring, and is performed by the official electrical contractor, which in this case is Freeman. Be sure to provide floor plan layouts with outlet placement when placing your orders on FreemanOnline. And floor work cannot be performed by Exhibitor staff. Booth work includes wiring through your booth structure, truss, or overhead lighting, and it can be performed by either the official contractor or EACs in compliance with show rules. If booth work is needed, we may require exhibitor supervision during setup. And if the work will be completed before your arrival, a floor plan must be submitted with the order. So again, order early to ensure you're receiving the best pricing. Freeman is also the official contractor for cleaning services. Be sure to keep your booth spotless by ordering these services as needed. We offer services such as vacuuming and porter service, which is the removal of waste from your booth. And Freeman also offers transportation services, although you can use any carrier of your choice. When selecting your carrier, we strongly encourage you to select a carrier who specializes in trade show freight due to the unique requirements of trade show deliveries. Make sure to share all of the important information, delivery, pickup addresses with your carrier. We recommend avoiding small package carriers such as UPS, FedEx, or DHL. And one thing I would like to call out is that DHL is not open on the weekends and therefore will not deliver. So please keep this in mind when selecting your carrier. Shipments originating from countries other than the US must be cleared through customs. Keep that in mind while planning. And as a reminder, Phoenix International is IHA's customs broker, and they can assist before, during, and after the show. And finally, Freeman Transportation is always an option. We're available for custom quotes and on-site support. Now moving into material handling services. We know that shipping and material handling can be confusing, and oftentimes these terms are even used interchangeably, when in fact they are two separate services. We'll look at how these two services work together for your event now. We will start with shipping. As we just heard, you have the option of shipping using your carrier of choice. And again, we strongly encourage you to select a carrier who specializes in trade show freight, as shipping items in for trade shows is unique. You have two different delivery location options. You can ship to the advanced warehouse or directly to show site. The first option is the advanced warehouse, and warehouse receiving begins on January 26th. The deadline for warehouse receiving is February 20th, but we will still accept freight after that deadline. However, you may incur additional charges. I do want to call out that the Freeman warehouse will be closed on Monday, February 16th, in observance of President's Day. The second option is to ship direct to show site, and show site receiving begins on March 3rd. So whether you ship to the warehouse or to show site, once Freeman receives your freight from your carrier, that's when material handling begins. Freeman will move your freight to your booth space, where you will then unload and begin setting up your booth. Once you have completed unloading your crates and cases, you will apply an empty sticker to those containers, and Freeman personnel will come around and remove anything labeled with an empty sticker. Freeman stores your empty containers for the duration of the event. Your empties will be returned after the close of the show once all aisle carpet has been removed. Then you will break down your booth, pack up your containers, and you'll label them again, but this time it will be for outbound shipping. Freeman will provide these outbound shipping labels for you once we get the delivery address and the carrier information from you. Once you ensure all items are labeled, you'll leave your containers in your booth, and Freeman will come around and pick up those containers to take them to the loading dock. And finally, once your carrier arrives and we load your freight onto that carrier, outbound shipping begins. Priority Empty Return Service is another offering Freeman has. This service guarantees that empty containers are returned within 2.5 hours after the event closes. I mentioned on the last slide that empties aren't returned until aisle carpet is removed, so I do want to let you know that the empty return process does take a few hours. This service is a great option to get your containers back first once that aisle carpet is removed. Each label is $160, and you should purchase one label for each container that you would like returned within that 2.5-hour window. There is a limited quantity available, so if you're interested, we suggest acting fast and ordering those on FreemanOnline. If ordered, these labels will be passed out during move-in. I know that is a lot of information, and Cassandra's going to go into more details as it relates to move-in and move-out, but rest assured that you'll be able to find all of the information that you may need about shipping and material handling on FreemanOnline. Here you will find the overview we just walked through, material handling rates, shipping labels for the warehouse, for show site, and those hanging sign labels I referenced earlier. And you can also find information about the marshaling yard, details on empty storage, and outbound information too. And I want to leave you with some cost savings and planning tips. Don't forget to review the Exhibitor Service Manual and understand the important deadlines, Freeman deadlines, and other vendors too. Coordinate freight forwarding and customs clearance early to prevent last-minute complications. Include setup instructions with labor orders and print a copy to include inside your crates. Consolidate shipments and understand deadlines to avoid late to warehouse fees. And then complete payments before deadlines and before arriving on site to confirm services and to avoid any on-site delays. Also handle any outstanding invoices or questions on your invoice while on site. And finally, Phoenix International Business Logistics will be available again for assistance on site with freight forwarding and customs clearance. That was a lot of information. If you need assistance while you're planning, we are happy to support you. Our exhibitor support team has many different methods for you to contact us. We're available by phone or text, chat options while on FreemanOnline, or even WhatsApp. And lastly, if you're an international customer, you can reach us by email. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Cassandra.
Perfect. Thank you, Jenny. So maybe now you want to do a little stretch before I get started, because that was a lot of information. You're probably wondering now how to master move-in and move-out. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to go over freight targeting, the marshaling yard, go in depth about shipping versus material handling, and then I'll wrap up with some cost-saving tips and international exhibitor best practices. All right, ready? First things first, and that's understanding your freight targets. Targets make it easier for you to move in your freight because it just makes the halls less congested. We'll go over some differences between delivering to the advanced warehouse and delivering direct to show site. When you deliver to the advanced warehouse, your freight is guaranteed to be within your booth space during your move-in time. This makes your move-in process much more predictable. If you deliver direct to show site, your freight carrier arrives during your assigned target move-in window, and this means that you may experience delays due to loading dock congestion or your carrier arriving late. We strongly encourage you to deliver to the advanced warehouse, so that's one less thing for you to worry about once you get to show site. Your target time is not tied to your floor target when you deliver to the advanced warehouse. So again, you don't have to worry about your carrier dropping off during your target time and having those delays, because your items will already be in your booth space once your target time arrives. This is best for when you're going to the advanced warehouse. This is best for exhibitors who want to make sure that your items are within your booth space when you get there or when your team arrives, so that they don't have to worry about tracking your freight by the carrier. However, if your shipments are going to be over 5,000 pounds per piece, you'll want to be sure to deliver direct to show site, because we do not accept freight that is that large at the advanced warehouse. And then lastly, we just want to remind you that a risk with delivering to show site is the delays that you may experience. Your carrier may miss your assigned freight target or have waiting times. And so this will delay your move-in time and make the process less seamless for you and your team. So again, we encourage you to deliver to the advanced warehouse if you are able to do so. We also encourage you to schedule your labor for success. You'll want to remember to plan for potential freight delays by shipping direct to the Freeman warehouse. Your freight is guaranteed to be in your booth space when you arrive at your target date and time. So we want to remind you that if your target time is at 8 a.m., let's say, this means that your truck will arrive at 8 a.m., but unloading may not happen until mid-morning if you're delivering direct to show site. So that means that your team won't even be able to start unloading your containers and let alone start setting up until well after 8 a.m. So this means you don't want to schedule any labor for that time. We encourage you to schedule your labor for the next day so that you can ensure you have all of your items within your booth space and that you and your team are ready for labor to assist you. We also, again, want to remind you, we talked a little bit about this earlier, about straight time, double time, and overtime. Overtime and double time can really be costly and it adds up. And so if you can, schedule your labor during straight time, whether you're using Freeman Union labor or your EACs, to make sure that you are saving the most amount of money. Overtime rates begin after 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then they are all day Saturday and all day Saturday. Sunday is double time, and so you really want to be mindful of that also. The last thing I want to remind you of is using only show-approved or union labor. Do not go out and just hire anybody, because they won't know any rules, and you want to make sure that your booth in itself is set up correctly or dismantled correctly. But if you are hiring an approved EAC or using Freeman, you'll know for sure that we understand the rules and regulations that need to be followed within the facility. And then lastly, communicate freight timing to your EAC. It's really, really important that you and your EAC are in continuous communication to make sure that you're preventing idle labor and any additional costs. The next thing we'll talk about is the marshaling yard. Marshaling yards are used to prevent congestion at the loading docks. So if there's lots of trucks trying to deliver at one time, the loading docks will get congested and no freight can really be moved. So we have a marshaling yard to stage trucks, and we dispatch them once we have loading dock space available. all carriers must check in at the marshaling yard when you're delivering direct to show site. Drivers will receive a number based on their arrival time, and then they'll be dispatched once we have loading space available. The address for the marshaling yard is 3050 South Moat Drive, Chicago, Illinois, 60616. You'll want to be sure to provide this information to your carrier so that they don't think that they can go right to the facility to deliver your items. So have to check in at this address first. McCormick Place does charge fees for entrance and overnight storage and scale use. So please be sure to also let your carrier know this so that that experience is seamless for them. And there is more information located online and here within this deck for you to review and provide to the carrier. Certified weight tickets are required when they are checking into the marshaling yard. If your driver does not have a valid certified weight ticket, there is a fee-based scale there on site that they can use. They can also search around for additional scales available near the facility. And there is ASUV loading and unloading available at McCormick Place. McCormick Place offers exhibitors the option to unload or load their personally owned vehicles there on site. All vehicles will have to check in at the marshaling yard address, and again, that's 3050 South Moat Drive, and obtain a dock pass. So if you are deciding to deliver some of your own freight in your personally owned vehicle, you'll have to check in at the marshaling yard too, just like the other trucks. Vehicles have to be unloaded within 20 minutes, and only hand carry or use of an exhibitor-owned hand cart is permitted. This is a complimentary service, so you don't have to worry about paying for it. And the ASUV hours for inbound are Sunday, March 8th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 12:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday, March 9th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 12:30 to 4:30 p.m. And then on the outbound, Thursday, March 12th, 4:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. There are additional ASUV guidelines, so be sure to look into those if you're deciding to deliver your own items in your own vehicle to the show. I do also want to just quickly note that just like with direct-to-show shipments, there may be a delay in the time that you get to unload your vehicles, so please keep that in mind also when you're planning. And Jenny did talk a bit about empty container storage earlier, and we're just going to talk a little bit more about that now. During move-in, you'll want to be sure to tag your cartons, fibers, and crates with empty stickers. These stickers let us know that your containers are empty and that we can pick them up and store them for the duration of the event. You can grab these stickers from either the Freeman service desk or from any Freeman personnel that is walking around the show floor. All empty containers must be removed from your booth space, so once you have empty containers, just label them, we'll come around and pick them up, and that'll give you more space within your booth to work. During move-out, empty containers will begin being returned at the close of the show. This happens after the aisle carpet is removed or covered, and this can take many hours. So remember to plan accordingly. You don't want to schedule your outbound travel right after the show because you won't have your empty containers back yet. So just remember to think through this when you're planning. But if for some reason you do need to leave right after the show, Freeman Labor is available to assist. We can help dismantle your booth space, pack it all up, and make sure that your items get to their final destination. And again, there are priority empty return labels available. These labels are really, really helpful if you need to leave right after the show, because again, you'll receive your items back within 2.5 hours after the show closes. These make your move out much more predictable because you'll be able to know when you're getting your containers back, and it's an expedited service. So you know that you're not going to be waiting several more hours by not getting these labels. Again, they are available on FreemanOnline. There is only a limited quantity available. So if you're interested in grabbing those, be sure to head over to FreemanOnline. And once that site is up, you can grab those to make your move out more seamless and give you and your team peace of mind. Now we'll move into the outbound paperwork process. Outbound paperwork is needed for all shipments regardless of carrier. Outbound paperwork is a contract that lets us know where your freight's going and who's supposed to be picking it up. We just want to make sure that your items are safe, and so we require this paperwork to make sure that that process is seamless. You can fill out the outbound paperwork in advance. Here on the screen, you see an example of FreemanOnline where you'll go to fill out that paperwork. You can also fill it out at show site. We encourage you to fill it out in advance so that it's one less thing for you to worry about when you're on show site, because we all know that that could get kind of chaotic. Any requested paperwork will be passed out during the event. And once you have packed up your containers, you'll label them clearly with your outbound labels, and then just leave your items within your boot space. Then submit your outbound paperwork to our exhibitor services team. This is a required step to make sure that, again, we know where your items are supposed to be going, and you'll want to be sure to do this before you leave show site. On the outbound paperwork, here you'll see on the screen an example material handling agreement. You'll want to be sure to complete all of the information you see listed here in the boxes. Include your carrier's name, phone number, the desired level of service, and the number of pieces. You'll also want to make sure that you sign, print clearly, and include a contact phone number so that we can reach you if we need to contact you or someone on your team. And lastly, if your carrier misses the check-in deadline, Freeman will reroute your freight. This just means that if your carrier is not there to pick up your freight, we'll make sure that it gets to its final destination by using our own transportation. All right, so at show site during move out, there are some really important items that you'll want to remember. The first thing is to review and close all vendor invoices. This should be a standard process that you and your team follow because, again, there may have been some complications or things that may have been missed, and you don't want to have to worry about these once you or your team leave show site because it just makes it a little bit harder for us to confirm what really happened. So remember to review your invoices, close out those invoices, and ask any questions that you may have before you leave show site. If you can, schedule your dismantle labor during straight time and confirm your orders. Scheduling your dismantle during straight time, again, will save you so much money. And so if you can, schedule that during straight time. Do it ahead of time on FreemanOnline so that you don't have to worry about it while you're on site and to avoid any additional cost. When your shipments are all packed up, remember again to complete your material handling agreement for each separate destination. So if your shipments are going to 2 separate places, you'll need 2 separate material handling agreements. And label every container being shipped and notify your outbound carrier for pickup. All right, now we're going to move in to important show site information and the show schedule. Move-in begins for targeted exhibitors on March 3rd. Remember to check for your assigned target date and time and plan accordingly. First thing I want to mention is that this year there is a new targeted move out. This means that on the move in and move out, you will have a specific date and time to move in and move out your items. For move out, again, be sure to look for your targeted move out date and time. This helps make sure that your move out is easier and more simple. And again, it keeps the floors, loading docks from being congested. Exhibitors will be assigned these to make sure that your move out is predictable and organized. Your assigned target date and time can be found on FreemanOnline or within your exhibitor portal. And the advanced warehouse shipments will help eliminate your carrier wait times, again, on the move in and move out. So please, if you can, deliver to the advanced warehouse. And lastly, I just want to reiterate that any show site shipments that you have that are being shipped direct to show site may have delays. And so this may impact your setup and make scheduling labor a little bit more difficult. So if you can, deliver to the advanced warehouse so that you don't incur any additional fees and so that you can set up with a predictable rate. Now we'll quickly review the show schedule. Move-in again for targeted exhibitors begins March 3rd. It'll be 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. On March 4th, March 5th, and March 6th, it'll also be targeted, and the schedule will be 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. On March 7th through March 9th, move-in will be from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. for general exhibitor move-in. Remember that this schedule is based on your exhibitor scheduled target move-in date. It's recommended to schedule your labor for booth build on straight time days, and this is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. Recommended booth merchandising and product placement should be done anytime on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. This just makes it easier. If you get your booth all set up before Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, you can set up your literature or any other merchandise that you may have within your booth on days when overtime or double time would occur. So get your booth set up during straight time, and then any additional things that you need to put within your booth, just do that during times when it would be overtime or double time. And the exhibit hall hours will be Tuesday, March 10th, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Wednesday, March 11th, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and then Thursday, March 12th, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Please note that there is a new end time. On Thursday, March 12th, the show will close at 4:30 p.m. This is different from last year, so please just remember this, and again, plan accordingly. Move-out will begin Thursday, March 12th at 4:30 p.m., and it'll go until 10 p.m. that evening. Friday, March 13th until Monday, March 16th, move-out will continue from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Please note that Sunday, March 15th is a dark day, so there will not be any labor there to assist you. Carrier check-in will be Monday, March 16th at 10 a.m. Again, remember, this is a time that you want your carrier to be checking in to pick up your freight. This is the last time that they'll be able to do that. And the exhibitor clear deadline is at 4:30 p.m. This is the time that you want to ensure that all of your items are clear off of the show floor so that we can clear up the hall. Exhibitors may tear down, pack booths, and remove your items personally anytime during move out. We recommend scheduling labor for teardown Thursday, March 12th, Friday, March 13th, and Monday, March 14th to avoid any overtime fees. Again, remember, Thursday, Friday, and Monday will be straight time, and so you won't incur any additional fees. If you are moving out your items on Saturday or Sunday, you'll incur overtime fees or potential double time fees. And while you're on site, you may need assistance because there's going to be a lot going on. So our team will be there to support you. We'll be available during posted hours, and these will mirror move-in, show run, and the move-out schedule. If you'd like to visit us on site, we have exhibitor service desks. So in South Hall A, you can find us located underground from the show floor at the food court. We'll be under pods Cafe A1 and A2. And our North Service Center will be located at N230B. And again, you don't have to write down any of this information because it'll be sent out to you, but we'll be there to support you if you have questions, if you need assistance, and if you need help with your invoices or anything like that, we'll be there to support you. And if you like to self-serve like me, we have some options available on FreemanOnline. We have concierge services where you can request service directly from the comfort of your booth. So if you're missing any orders or you'd like to place a new order, you can use concierge services to do this. We also have notifications. This tile is also located there on FreemanOnline. You can set up and view important live event alerts for you and your team. A really helpful alert that we have available is the freight alert. This alert lets you know when your items are returned to your booth during move out. Again, it makes it much more predictable, and you and your team don't have to wait around to see when your freight gets returned to your booth space, because once your empty containers are returned, you'll get an alert. Lastly, during show move out, you can submit and finalize finalize outbound paperwork digitally. This just makes it more simple again because you can finalize this paperwork without having to go up to the booth or up to our service desk to finalize this paperwork, and then it'll be passed out to you, and then you'll submit it back after the show has closed and you have packed up your booth space. As I'm wrapping up, I'm going to leave you with some move-in and move-out best practices. Remember to plan to arrive with enough time to set up your booth space and to plan for enough time to dismantle your booth space after the event closes. In advance, choose a trade show experience carrier to ensure reliable delivery, proper freight handling, on-time arrival, and smooth customs clearance. This will help avoid delays, damage, and unexpected costs. This is really important for your move-in and for your move-out so that you can make sure that you always know where your items are. And when you use a trade show experience carrier, you'll know that they'll follow your target times and ensure that your items are where they're supposed to be when they need to be there. Remember to also order your labor services to begin after freight arrival. This is really important to help you save the most amount of money. So please, I know we've said that so many times throughout this, but please just make sure that you're scheduling your labor services to arrive after your freight, or to begin after your freight arrives. You can order these in advance, and we strongly encourage you to order them when you're placing your other orders. But again, if your target time is at 8 a.m., one day, plan your labor for the next day to make sure that your items will be within your booth space for them to be set up or dismantled. Before show opening, remember to check out your space to ensure that all of your shipments have arrived and to confirm any orders that you have placed are completed or in process of being completed. We want to make sure that all of your items are within your booth space. Any orders that you've placed are there in your booth, and that you have everything you need to have a great show. If you don't have those items, remember to reach out to us or any other vendor to make sure that we can make it right before the show begins. During move out, if your shipments contain non-valuables, remember to submit your MHA, that material handling agreement, or outbound paperwork, and your materials should be packed up and labeled, and then you can leave the show. If you have valuables, we strongly encourage you to stay with your freight until we come around to pick it up and take it to your outbound carrier. If you can't stick around, booth security is available for you to hire, and so we strongly encourage you to utilize that vendor too, because we want to make sure, again, that your items are safe and that they get to their destination without any issues. Lastly, before departing, remember to stop by the service desk and any specialty vendors to review and settle all final invoices. You don't want to have to worry about any issues arising after you've left the show. And so just make sure that before you head out, you stop by and make sure that everything's all good to go. If you're an international exhibitor, we want to remind you to keep detailed documentation, prepare manifests listing all the items that were shipped, the dimensions, and any special instructions. Remember to secure and clearly label any skids to ensure easy, accurate delivery to your booth space. It's really important to make sure that your items don't get lost and so that you know what you should have within your booth space so that when you're moving in, you're not missing anything. Remember to also budget early and start planning early. Review available booth options to avoid shipping and or material handling fees. Again, we mentioned earlier the many different booth options that were available and exhibit rental options that were available. When you order those products or services, you save so much money because you don't have to worry about shipping your booth items or any material handling costs. So be sure to look into those too. Remember to also prepay for your services to avoid any last minute issues and for a smooth employee experience. This is really important if you will not be on site and you'll have a separate team that's on site. You want to make sure that their experience is seamless and smooth So just be sure to prepay for any items, products, or services that you have so that they don't have to worry about it while they're on site. Lastly, I know that we've drilled this in a lot too, but use an experienced freight forwarder. Work with a trusted freight forwarder familiar with U.S. trade show to ensure all shipments are cleared through customs and to avoid any time delays. Phoenix International Business Logistics is available to assist you. They are the preferred carrier, and they will be available pre-show, during the show, and during move out for any items that need to be shipped internationally. If you're an international exhibitor,
I talked a lot just now, and I know
we
that
want to
this
remind
was
you
a lot of
to
information
keep
for you
detailed
to retain.
documentation.
But
Prepare manifests listing all the items that were shipped,
are here
the
to support
dimensions,
you.
and any special
Again, you can contact us
instructions.
by phone,
Remember to
text. If
secure
you're an
and
international
clearly
customer,
label
you
any
can send us an
skids to
email.
ensure
We
easy,
also have chat
accurate
options
delivery to
and
your boot
WhatsApp
space. It's really important to make sure that your items don't get lost,
during your
and so
planning
that you know
phase
what you should have
and
within your
any other
boot
time
space.
that you may need
So
our
that,
assistance.
all right,
With
so
that, we
I
are going
talked
to move
a lot
into
just
our
now, and I
Q&A
know that this was
section
a
of
lot
the
of
webinar.
information
If
for
you have
you
any
to retain.
questions, be sure to enter
But
them into
if you
the
have any
Q&A
additional
feature,
questions,
and
our
we'll
team
get to them as
are
we go
here
on.
to support
If you
you.
have a
Again,
personal
you can
question
contact us by
that
phone,
just
text.
pertains
If you're
to
an
you,
international
we'll be
customer,
sure to get
you can
with
send us an
after to
email.
answer any
We
of
also
those
have chat
questions.
options. All right. With that,
So
we are going to move
as
into
I bring
our
that
Q&A.
up,
All
our
right.
first
So
question
as I
is,
bring
when
that
will the
up,
Exhibitor Services Kit go live?
our first
So,
question is,
Mike, I
when
think that
will
you
the
may be
Exhibitor
unmuted, or if
Services
anyone else
Kit
wants to
Yeah,
go live?
I'm unmuted. It will be going
So,
live here in the coming
Mike, I think that
days.
you may be unmuted,
And
or
what
if
you'll
anyone else
notice
wants.
when you do
I'm
have
unmuted.
access to it, or when you do access
It will be going
it,
live here
you
in
will
the coming
notice that the
days.
rates
And what you'll notice
for this
when
year's
you
show
do have
are the
access
same
to it, or
rates
when
that
you
were
do
applied
access
in
it,
2025.
you'll notice
So
that
our
the
commitment
rates
to
between
you, our
for
commitment
this
to
year's show
IHA
are the
has been
same
to
rates
freeze
that
our
were
rates
applied
for
in
2026
2025.
based on
So
the
our commitment
2025
to
rates.
you,
And again,
our
you'll see the
commitment to
kit here in the
IHA
coming
has
days
been to
going
freeze
live.
our rates for 2026
Perfect. Thank
based
you,
on the 2025
The
rates.
next question
And again,
we
you'll
have
see the
is from
kit here in the coming
David,
days
and
going
this
live.
question says, will there be a
Perfect.
link
Thank you,
to the
Mike.
PowerPoint?
The next question we have is from
Adrian, if you want to
David,
hop in
and this
answer
question says, will there be a link to
We
the
will be sending
PowerPoint?
the webinar in the
Adrian, if
next
you
few
want to
days
hop
after
on
we
and
kind of
answer
parse it
that.
out into small bite-sized chunks.
We will
as
be
well as
sending the
overall,
webinar
PowerPoint.
in the next few days after
Perfect.
we
Thank
kind
you
of
so
parse it
much.
out into small
Next, we have a
bite-sized
question
chunks as
from
well as the
Joe, and
overall
it says, inline boots will
PowerPoint.
not
Yeah.
have a divider
Perfect. Thank you
drape
so much.
line.
Next, we have a question from
Of
Joe, and
Mike
it says,
Victoria,
inline boots will
one of you
not
want to
have
answer
a
this
divider
question?
drape.
Trying to-
Our first question is,
What
when
exactly is the
will the
question,
Exhibitor
Cassandra?
Services Kit
It's
go
about
live?
divider drape lines on the side. So if you're
So,
ordering drape and it's been
Mike,
approved
I think
by
that you may be unmuted,
IHA,
or
you
anyone
will
else want.
have the,
Yeah,
the
I'm
side
on.
rails.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's see. We have a question from Damien, and it says, what is the limit on priority pallets? So there is no limit. You may order what is there. We just want to remind you that once they run out, they're out, just to make sure that we're able to keep our guarantee. You do only need one label per pallet or container. And so you don't want to order too many if you don't need them all, but definitely order as many as you need to make sure that your freight gets back to you within that 2.5-hour guarantee. We have a question from an anonymous attendee. My products are large volume items, so it's not convenient to ship them back to my country. Is there any option for them to remain in the United States? So when you're on site, there will be an option to donate these items. And if you are interested in that, you want to just be sure to stop by our Exhibitor Services desk. There will be someone there to support you and take those items off of your hand. If you are looking for, I just want to cover both options. If you're looking for long-term storage, if that is what your question was pertaining to, also be sure to stop by our Exhibitor Services team, and they'll be able to assist you if that option is available. Let's see. Robert, I do see your question, not ignoring you. We're going to have someone reach out to you separately after the webinar to make sure that we cover your questions. Other than that, I don't see any additional questions right now. If you do have any questions, again, be sure to put them in the Q&A feature, and then we can get those answered. Other than that, I don't see any additional questions right now. If you do have any questions, again, be sure to put them in the Q&A feature, and then we can get those answered.
Who is here to support you every step of the way, and so we can help answer any questions.
Outside of this webinar, if you have any questions for our Freeman team, remember that we're available with many different methods to contact us. Feel free to contact us. We have an exhibitor support team who is here to support you every step of the way, and so we can help answer any questions that you may have.
By Thursday,
We have a question from Emily. Outside of this webinar, if you have any questions for our Freeman team, remember that we're available with many different methods to contact us. Feel free to contact us. We have an exhibitor support team who is here to support you every step of the way, and so we can help answer any questions that you may have.
That's not on your target date and time.
We have a question from Emily. It says, move out deadline is Monday, March 6th, 12th. Can your carrier pick up
have
a booth on Friday the 13th if it's packed up and ready to go by Thursday
during your target date
the
and time
12th at 10
so that
p.m.?
you don't risk incurring any additional fees?
Let's see. We have a question from an anonymous person asking when the booth numbers will be assigned. Someone from IHA wants to take that one.
That would be a question. If you reach out to your sales contact, they can provide you with the assigned timeline.
Perfect. Thank you, Adrian. Anyone else who's asking for personal assistance, I will make sure to jot down your name and information and reach out to you after the webinar.
That would be a question. If you reach out to your sales contact,
Does any of this apply to
they can provide you with the assigned time.
Mike, I see Mike is shaking his head, so he's saying yes.
I'll let Julia also share, but yes, it does. Absolutely. Julia, do you have anything additional to add to that?
So in Vendors Corner, booths typically have a target date as well. So when those get announced, that's your day to load in. And they will also have a loadout.
Perfect. Thank you both. All right. I know that we are at time and over time. So if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us so that we can assist you. Again, the recording will be sent out to you all once it's all broken up and more consumable. And then you'll also receive the slides so that you can go through them, click on any links that you may need, and so that you'll be supported that way too. Thank you all so much for joining today. And then, Adrian, I'll hand it back over to you to wrap us up.
We do appreciate your time today. If there are more detailed questions, please do reach out to either myself or your sales contact at IHA. Freeman and our team work very closely together. We can handhold you through any questions that you may have. Thanks and have a great day.